Hi folks, so this is Scotty from Raising Fishes, and I just want to talk about sometimes planning a new tank can be rather difficult. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I bought this tank here a couple months back, got a good deal. They were on sale. My original intentions was I was going to make this a dirted tank, planted, and put swordtails in it. That was my original intention. Well, since then things have changed. My brain has gone round in circles on this tank. You saw in a previous video, I put a background on the inside of this tank. Originally my 125 that I'd bought off the marketplace had a background that was on the inside of the tank, and I didn't like it in that 125, so I just, I had to reseal that tank and do everything anyway, so I just had it been sitting in here in the garage. So I cut it down to fit this piece, and as you saw, I put it in there and had some problems with it. It didn't stick. The silicone stuck to the glass, but it didn't stick to the background, so the background's gone, it's in the trash, it's out of here. So I just painted it black like a normal tank. So that's one change. Next thing is my original intentions was I was going to take and build a new stand for this tank. My 20 tall and my 29 are already in the house, and they're stacked on top of each other on a stand, and I was going to build a new stand to hold all three tanks. Well, I've decided I ain't going to do that either. So this tank is going to go where my 20 tall was. I'm going to take my 20 tall and I'm going to pull it out of there. It's going to come in the garage, and I think I'm going to take all the fish out and disperse them through other tanks. And I'm just going to have this 20 long and the 29 on that stand. And I'll have to raise the shelf up for this tank because the tall is, a little bit taller than this, and I need it higher up, closer to the light. So anyhow, that's the changes with that part of it. And then let's talk about what am I going to do as far as inside the tank. So instead of doing the dirty tank, I ordered the Carib Sea Eco-Complete planted substrate. That's going to be the base, and then I'm going to cap it off with a sand top. And I'm looking for plants that are low growing, carpeting, and they may only grow this tall, small leaf. I don't want no monster plants in there. I don't want big tall Java ferns or anything like that. So I'm looking for shorter growing plants, smaller leaf. So that's one thing. I did get some pro weed, a big batch of it from Bishop Aquatics, and I made a good looking batch of pro weed. And so I threw a chunk of it in my tub outside, and when I first got it, I saw there's snails in there. I don't like snails. If you know me, or seen any of my videos, I tore a whole 75-gallon tank down because of snails. It's just to get rid of them. But anyhow, so I took a chunk of that too, and I stuck it in a jar, and I've got it quarantining. As I see the snails, I kill them and get rid of them because I just don't like snails. So I want that pro weed to go into this tank as well. I have some dragonstone that's over there that's going to go in this tank, part of the scape. So that's all part of it. And I did order some carpeting plant seeds, 2 different styles, and my intentions there is to get the substrate down and then pour the seeds on them, and then get some water and put it about 1 inch above the substrate and let it set there for, it takes about, 10-15 days, I guess, for the seeds to germinate. So once they start germinating, and fill the tank up, finish the scape off, and get the filtration in there and everything. So what am I going to do for stocking? So this is where the difficulty begins. So my brain says I don't want to go to Petco or PetSmart and just get some old common fish that everybody has. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for something I've never had, something unique, something that doesn't require a heater, although I'm not closed to that thought. I mean, if it requires a heater, I have heaters, so you know, I'm not closed to that thought, but I prefer to have a non-heated tank, fish that can live in just room temperature water. So I was watching a video this morning, Alex from Fishtory's channel. He had a video out there, I'll link it in the description, but he had a video out there about the top 20 something fish for 2025, new fish. And there's a lot of fish in there that I have not seen. And like, oh yeah, some new breeds, man-made breeds, you know, and then whatever. But I mean, a lot of neat looking fish. And he even gave you the references where you can buy them, you know, from different vendors. And it's like, cool. So I looked at some of them up that I was interested in. Some of them are like 30 bucks a whack. And you can't just buy one of them, you know, you gotta buy, you know, 4 or 5 of them anyway. Because a lot of them are schooling fish, which that's fine. But so it's gonna cost me whatever I figure out I'm gonna stock this with. You may have some ideas for me for plants and or fish, please let me know. Like I say, I'm not looking to go to Petco or PetSmart and just find the run-of-the-mill average fish that everybody has. I mean, I've already got all that, you know, so I'm looking for something unique, a little bit different. That's my thought process is on it anyway. So I think for me, you know, I've been doing fish keeping for over 50 years, and it's just like, this has probably been my hardest tank to figure out what I'm going to do with. All my other tanks, you know, it's in my mind, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I did it, and it's done, and it's over with. And now I'm at a point here where I'm like, I want to do something different. And I always want to do planted tanks, I really do. And even in my 180, if I ever decide to get rid of my big cichlids, that tank would become a planted tank, and I would just put tons of schooling fish in there, is what I would do. But right now, you know, I like the cichlids too. You just can't have plants in there because between the Waroos and the Geos and the Oscar and, you know, the silver dollars, plants just won't survive in there. So I do like planted tanks. There's a good reason for it. Plants do help your water quality. You know, I like the looks of live plants. I don't like the plastic plant look. You know, I had some Pacos years ago in a 100-gallon tank. I had 2 of them, and I bought them about this big. And when I got rid of them, they were about 15 inches. But them things, they literally ate my plastic plants. They chewed them up and had little pieces of plastic spitting all around them. So even little Pacos, you know, that Pacu, whatever. I mean, they get huge. And back then when I bought the Pacus, you know, I didn't realize, once again, you got to do research, but I didn't research them. I just wanted them, so I bought them. And I soon found out they grow up to be monsters. And in a 100-gallon tank, 1 Paco, it's not big enough for just one. I had 2 of them in there. So, needless to say, that was a mistake. I ended up giving them away to a fish store. She had like a 250-gallon tank as soon as you walked in the door. And I talked to her about it. And she said, I don't want to buy them. I said, I'm not going to sell them to you. I'm just going to give them to you. I said, I got no room for them, you know. So she took them. I don't know whatever she did with them, but they're gone. So anyway, back to the subject is planning for a new tank. Sometimes it can be difficult. What do you think? Have you ever been through that? Have you ever gone through all these mind-changing things like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. Oh, let me do this. No. That's me right now. So anyhow, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If you got any suggestions, throw them in the comments. I appreciate it. Once again, thank y'all. Thanks for watching.